There's a particular kind of pain that comes not from losing something you fought for, but from watching something beautiful walk out of your life while you just stood there, frozen, convinced you didn't deserve it in the first place. This is that story. Hello and welcome to Tales by the WORDSMITH, a space where we tell fictional and non-fictional Nigerian stories with real-life narratives and experiences that touch, heal, and inspire us. Today's story is actually more of a personal than fictional one, and it's my hope that you may learn a thing or two by the time you're done watching this video. So sit back as usual, enjoy and listen to this story of loss and an eventual regret that lingers.
I was 20 when I got into university. 20 and already carrying a weight I couldn't quite name. The kind that makes you walk into a room full of people and immediately start looking for the corner furthest from everyone else. I wasn't dramatic about it. I didn't make a scene of my loneliness. I just moved quietly, ate alone, sat alone, walked across campus with my earphones in even when there was no music playing, just so no one would try to talk to me. The university itself was overwhelming in the way that only a Nigerian campus can be. The lecture halls were never quite big enough, wooden chairs crammed together, the smell of chalk and body heat, ceiling fans overhead that made noise without producing any actual cool air. Everyone seemed to know someone already. Friendships formed overnight in the hostels, group chats for every course appeared within the first week, and there was this constant hum of social energy that felt entirely foreign to me. People were laughing, arguing, sharing earphones, buying suya from the guy outside the faculty gate. And I was watching all of it like I was behind glass. The hostel had its own rhythm of survival. The water situation alone could wreck your entire morning. You had to be up early enough to fetch before it ran out, or you were bathing with whatever was left in your bucket from the night before. The rooms were small, the mattresses were suspicious, the ceiling fans rattled like they were holding on for dear life. But somehow everyone else made it feel like community. I just made it feel like endurance. I barely spoke to anyone those first months. When it came to girls my age especially, there was a wall so tall I had stopped even looking at the top of it. It wasn't that I thought poorly of myself exactly, I just assumed certain things weren't for me, that certain people existed in a different world, and the most I could do was observe it from the edge. That was my life. Until Rachel.
I noticed her, the way you notice something that doesn't quite fit the noise around it. Not because she was louder, but because she was clearer. She sat near the front of the lecture hall during one of our department classes, her notes already open before the lecturer walked in. There was a quiet ease about her, the kind that doesn't perform itself for anyone. She wasn't trying to be seen, she just was. I told myself to stop looking. I told myself what I always told myself, that's not for you. She was the kind of person who had options. I could see it in the way people naturally drifted toward her, the way she moved through the faculty without hesitation. People like that, I had already decided, didn't have room in their world for people like me. So I buried the feeling, found my usual corner, and went back to watching from a distance. But then things changed on this particular Tuesday. I know because we had a use of English test that morning and I was almost late. The water at the hostel had run out again and I'd lost too much time trying to sort myself out before eventually giving up. By the time I got to the hall, most of the seats were already taken or being held for someone. I moved through the rows with that specific anxiety of being the last one looking, scanning for somewhere to land. Then she called me. Not loudly, just, "Hey, you can sit here." I stopped. I genuinely was not sure she meant me. I looked around the way you do when you can't believe something is directed at you, checking for the more obvious recipient. But there was no one else. She had moved her bag to the floor. She was looking at me, waiting, completely unbothered by my hesitation. I sat down. We didn't talk during the test. There wasn't space for it. But I was aware of her beside me in a way that made the questions on the paper harder to process than they should have been. The scratch of her pen, the moment she flipped her sheet over, dawned before most of us. When the test ended and everyone spilled out in that familiar post-exam rush, she was swept into the crowd and I told myself that was it. A small moment of kindness, nothing more. I walked back to the hostel, changed, lay on my bed. When I checked my phone later, there was a message from a number I didn't have saved. It was short, casual, but underneath the casual surface was something that felt deliberate, like she had chosen to reach out. I read it twice, then I went back through the morning carefully, and the pieces came together. It was her. Rachel had found my number through the course group chat and sent the first message herself. I stayed still for a long moment, phone in hand. Then I saved her contact, typed something back, and tried very hard to behave normally about the whole thing.
The weeks that followed were the best part of that entire year. We started talking, first over texts, then walking to lectures together, then finding spots near the library to go over notes. She was sharp in the way that doesn't announce itself, funny in a dry, quiet way that snuck up on you. She asked real questions and actually listened to the answers. She remembered things you said. I kept waiting for her to realize she'd miscalculated somehow, that she'd ended up spending time with the wrong person and would eventually notice and correct it. But she kept showing up. She kept sending the first text. She kept saving me a seat. And the whole time, something in me kept insisting, this isn't real. This can't last. That's the thing about deep insecurity that nobody talks about. It doesn't feel like self-pity in the moment. It feels like clarity. It feels like you're just being honest with yourself, seeing things as they actually are, being smart enough not to hope for too much. I looked at Rachel, and then I looked at the world she moved through, the friends she had, the way she occupied space without apologizing for it. And I quietly, privately, decided I was a temporary stop for her, a gap she'd filled without thinking, something she would move past. So I started to pull away before she could. Not all at once, gradually. The way you turn down music so slowly you almost don't notice until the room is silent. I stopped texting first, then I stopped responding quickly. When I saw her on campus, I would look away half a second too soon, or find something urgent to do with my phone, or take a different route if I spotted her far enough ahead. I stopped sitting with her. I stopped showing up in the ways I used to. I told myself I was being realistic, that I was protecting us both from an ending that was always coming. But the truth I couldn't look at directly back then, was that I was just afraid. Afraid that if I let it become something real, she would eventually confirm what I already believed about myself, that it was easier to leave first than to be left. She noticed. Of course she did. She was perceptive. That was one of the things that drew me to her. But she didn't confront it, didn't send a message asking what had changed or why I'd gone cold. She just quietly withdrew the way she had quietly extended herself, with dignity and without drama.
I eventually found out she had transferred to another school through second-hand conversation. Someone mentioning it offhandedly, the way you mention something that isn't news to anyone. To me, it landed like a door being locked from the other side. I sat with that for a long time, longer than I expected to, longer than I've admitted to most people. There are questions I still carry from that period, whether any of it meant what I thought it meant, whether she had genuinely liked me or whether I had misread the whole thing, whether things would have been different if I had just stayed present, stayed open, not flinched every time something good got close to me. I don't have answers to those questions. I've accepted that I never will. 3 years later, I still think about it, not with the breathless ache of the early days, but with the quiet, uncomfortable clarity of someone who has finally stopped lying to themselves. What happened between me and Rachel didn't happen because of her. It happened because I had already decided the verdict before the trial even started. I had already decided I was unworthy of what was being offered, and I acted accordingly, and the world simply confirmed the story I had been telling. That's the part that stays with me, not the loss itself, but the mechanism of it. The way insecurity doesn't just make you feel small, it makes you act small, in ways that then shape your life and the lives of people around you, often without any of you fully understanding what is happening. I'm still working on it. I won't pretend the shyness is gone or that I've unlocked some new version of myself, but I understand now what I didn't understand then, that not everything good in your life needs to be earned through suffering first. Some things just arrive, and the only question is whether you'll be brave enough to receive them. If something has shown up in your life, a person, an opportunity, a door cracked open, and your first instinct is to talk yourself out of it, to decide it's too good, to find reasons it can't possibly be for you, I'm not going to tell you to simply believe in yourself, because I know how hollow that sounds. What I will say is this: the story you are telling yourself about what you deserve, examine it, because you might have written it a long time ago in a harder season and never thought to revise it. Rachel revised hers by reaching out first, and I just wasn't ready to let her.
Wow, that was surely one hell of a story to tell. If you enjoyed it and would like to see more stories like this one, also consider subscribing to the channel. We post videos like this here twice every week. And if this one actually touched you or made you feel some way, also consider liking and commenting on the video as well. As subtle as that may be, it really helps to push our content to an even wider audience. Thank you for stopping by. I remain your host, The Wordsmith, and I will see you another time on our next video. Till then, have a wonderful day, stay loved, stay happy, and stay safe. Peace.